Greetings, and welcome to The Thirsty Mage, the podcast voted best source of combined video game and alcohol consumption by at least one person who may or may not be affiliated with our panel. Tonight, we're going back to the well with another Jeopardy-style episode, which hopefully will result in all three members qualifying for Final Jeopardy this time. Tonight, I will not be your host, but a fellow contestant, David Lloyd. With me is co-host of the Talk Nintendo podcast, and a man on the road to Jeopardy redemption, Mr. Casey Gibson.
I'm not quite sure why I agreed to come back, but here I am.
Got a little sadist in you or what?
Yeah, I guess I like the punishment. My go-to, I am a Jets Mets Islander fan, so it's something I know quite a bit about.
It's like second nature.
Yep, yeah.
Also joining us, host of the Nintendo News Report and our returning champion, Mr. Donald Terrio.
And I just returned, and I'm about to fly to E3, and my arms are already tired.
And rounding out the panel, NWR Reviews editor, and tonight's Alex Trebek, Mr. Jordan Rudick.
David, they say if you can't beat them, join them. And I don't know if that's the role you're playing tonight or me, but I guess we're going to find out pretty soon.
Yeah, shotgun being the host next time.
Casey, it took me so long to do the questions, dude. Like, I think it's worth the punishment.
Yeah, at least I just come here and get my butt kicked. Yeah, at least I didn't have to put hours into it. So.
All right, well, I don't know if too many of us are drinking tonight. I wanted to keep my wits about me, so I'm not actually furnishing a beer tonight, but I will put a shout out to a new beer producer. The other day on Twitter, Jordan came across Pix Ale Beer. This is a new beer brand that's essentially, from the description, beers based on video games.
Very fitting for this podcast.
Have you seen any pictures of them, David, or seen like what the cans or bottles look like?
No, I don't think they've gotten that far. I did find out that the beer will be brewed by it's called the Reclamation Brewery in Butler, Pennsylvania. Does anyone else have a drink that they want to discuss or have mentioned?
Well, I've got my Triple X vitamin water here, staying hydrated as always. Yeah, this was the episode I was hoping you'd be drunk off your ass.
We need Donald to be drunk off his ass, not David.
Yeah. The thing is, I'm still confident a drunk Donald would still probably mop the floor with us.
Well, I just came from a movie theater that unfortunately doesn't serve alcohol in the form of Persona Q2, so I have not been able to drink tonight, so I'm just polishing off a Diet Cola.
I should have withheld what I was drinking until after my performance.
That's right.
Yeah. Psych! I was just drinking straight vodka.
That's where you announce,
David.
That's where you announce that you drank a whole case or something like that. You know.
That's right. I drank a whole bottle of tequila just to take one for the team. All right, well, Jordan, if you want to take over hosting duties and.
Yep, sounds good, David. Thank you. So we've got 6 categories in the Jeopardy round here. The point values are a little bit lower than our last episode. I'm going back to before they were doubled, classic Jeopardy, as it were. Retro Jeopardy, sure. A little bit of a throwback. So the categories are Final Fantasy, C in quotation marks. These are clues related to the Final Fantasy franchise, and all responses, correct responses, will start with the letter C. The next category is critical hits. Critical hits is going to be clues related to titles that have had considerable critical success, been pretty well regarded. The next category is BioWare. Ware is W-H-E-R-E, in a delicious pun. This is going to be key locations and places from BioWare RPGs. Who's the Boss is the next category. Clues related to famous RPG bosses, of course. The next category is Play It Loud. These are going to be a selection of RPG music clips that I'll play. You just need to name the game that the music is from. And finally, Potent Portables is the last category. Little SNL Jeopardy shout out there. These are clues related to portable RPGs, or at the very least, RPGs that are well known for being on a portable system. So I think it's the returning champion that gets the board. Is that right? So Donald, it sounds like it's yours.
All right, then let's go Final Fantasy for 100.
This is the protagonist of Final Fantasy VII. Donald, you're the first one to buzz in.
Who is Cloud?
Cloud is correct. It's your board.
Fantasy 200.
This is the familiar, rideable creature first introduced in Final Fantasy II. Casey.
Chocobo.
Chocobo is right. But please answer in the form of a question, sir.
What is a chocobo?
it's really good.
I just got
It's a
excited.
good question.
I knew one, so
I
give me
know.
a break,
You
all
That's
right?
right. That's right. Yeah. Okay. Casey, you're bored.
Let's keep on rolling with Final Fantasy for 300, please.
This recurring character played a fatherly role for Celis in Final Fantasy VI. David.
Who is Sid?
Sid is correct. You're bored, David.
Let's keep running the gauntlet here on
course.
Final Fantasy 400.
It's one of your categories, right?
That's right.
This green enemy uses the dangerous 1000 spikes attack. Donald.
What is a cactar?
Cactuar is right. You're bored.
All right, and I guess we'll take Final Fantasy 500.
This status effect is commonly inflicted by the Lamia enemy. Casey.
What is confuse?
Yeah, confuse or confusion. Absolutely. Good job.
Woo!
Good start to the round for you there, Case.
Oh man, yeah. Well, see, I'm pretty sure this is how it went last time too. I nailed a couple
be
off the
right,
bat,
yeah.
and then it was all downhill. So
Yeah. Well, and unfortunately for you, I've reduced the point value, so you're not doing as well as you might have. That's okay though. What do you want to go to next?
As tempted as I am to do Play It Loud, let's go with Potent Portables for 100.
Sure. The first portable spin-off of Super Mario RPG used this subtitle. Donald.
What is Superstar Saga?
You got it. You're bored?
All right. I like where we're going here. Let's go Portables 2.
This Game Boy title released in Japan as Makai Toshi Saga. Donald.
What is Final Fantasy Adventure? No.
That is not correct. Casey or David? This is where
I don't wanna touch
this is
that
where
one
Dave,
with
this
the
is where
10-foot
David
pole.
inserts some kind of beep sound.
Yep.
The correct answer is the Final Fantasy Legend. So you're close, Donald.
Yeah.
But it's the RPG series, not the Secret of Mana one.
Right.
So I think we go to you. You remain in control,
Yeah, he
Donald. So your
continues.
choice.
All right. 300 portables.
This long-running series for budding cartographers made full use of the DS and 3DS touchscreens. Casey,
What is Etrian Odyssey?
you got it. Where do you want to go next?
You know what? To break up the running of the train, let's go over to Play It Loud 100.
Sounds good. So remember, these are all going to be music clips, so I'm going to play these on my phone. Just give me a second here. You said 100, is that right?
Yep.
Okay, so Play It Loud for 100. Here we go. David, you've buzzed it like 10 times. Casey, that's so good. Casey's put a thumbs down symbol in the Skype chat. It's brilliant. David, I saw you. I wanted to let the clip play for a little bit for.
I'm pretty
for
sure
everyone
Donald
listening,
got
right?
in there first, though.
No, David got it first. He got it after like 2 seconds, of course. David, go ahead.
What is Final Fantasy?
That's right. That's the Final Fantasy 1 battle theme, of course. I'm gonna play each one for about 20 seconds or so. So no need to buzz in multiple times. I do see you guys there. Just counting all the thumbs up symbols in the Skype chat from David. It's really good.
It's the equivalent of me jamming on the buzzer in real
That's
life.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Practically breaking the buzzer to get in there.
That's right.
Yeah. David,
All
you're
right,
your go here.
We'll stay in the same category, 200.
No problem. 1 second here. Casey, you're the only one to buzz in.
The worst thing is, it's like I've heard this song a bunch and I don't know what it is.
You
but
just
I'm
need to
gonna
know the
take a
game.
guess.
Just the game.
Yeah, what is Ease 8?
That is incorrect.
I've listened to this recently. I'm not sure.
I'm sure you have. David or Donald want to take a guess? No.
I don't think so.
Neil Ronahan is going to be very disappointed in you three for not knowing that this is Chrono Cross. It's the
Dude.
Home Arnie theme song.
That is amazing because literally like the last 2 days I've had Chrono Cross up on YouTube, listening to it here and there.
The only Chrono Cross song that I can tolerate is Time Scar because it's that damn good. But I have severe problems with the storyline of Chrono Cross, which is why I'm not a fan of the game.
You're preaching to the choir, Donald. I'm with you. I love the soundtrack though. I think that was David who had the last selection, so it's up to you, David.
Yeah, stay in the same one, 300.
Okay, 1 second. Okay, Donald, I had you first.
What is Earthbound?
Earthbound is correct. You've buzzed in pretty quickly there, too.
I once wrote a strategy guide for Earthbound. The most redundant guide in history, but I still did it.
Right, yeah. That sounds good, man. Your selection, Donald?
Let's go back to portables for 4.
So, Donald, you are gonna tell us how much you want to wager here. I don't know the scores, so I'll just trust you guys are being honest about it in the spreadsheet.
Oh, sorry, your score is 700 right now, Donald.
700.
I think you can wager up to 1,000. Is that right? No,
up to 500.
well,
no,
up to 500.
700.
But you've up to 700. That's right. Yeah.
Let's make it a true daily double.
My man.
Ooh-wee.
This series made its Western debut on a handheld, but it had already seen 6 prior entries before coming west.
I know this one.
Yeah,
That was
I've got nothing.
Donald? Nope.
Oh, is there any way we could?
Nope. Is that
No,
where-
Casey, this happened to me last time where I knew the
What
answer.
is Fire Emblem?
Fire Emblem is correct. Yep.
Damn it.
I think it's Binding Blade or Blazing Blade was the first one that came to GBA.
Blazing Blade.
There had already
And it
been
was
6
just simply
games in
known
Japan.
as Fire Emblem.
That's right. Yeah.
Just a
Very
quick
good.
update. It's Casey is leading with 800. I am second with 400, and Donald is now 0.
And that is the end of our game, folks. Thank you for
Congratulations, Casey. I knew you had it in you. You know, it must be the vitamin water.
Man, yeah. It's making me smarter.
That's right.
I am rapidly kicking myself right now, but
Donald, I thought you had that one for sure.
yeah.
It's your selection anyways.
Let's finish portables for 5.
Sure. The hero of this first entry in a 3-game series became an assist trophy in Smash Bros. Ultimate, quashing rumors that he would be a playable character. I believe that's Casey.
What is Golden Sun?
Golden Sun is correct. People were saying that Isaac was going to be potentially a character in Smash Bros, but he was not. And of course, a week after we saw the assist trophy for Isaac, so I got rid of that pretty quick. Casey, your selection.
Let's go Play It Loud for 500.
Oh, okay.
500.
Skip to 400
here. We're skipping it.
Oh.
We'll go back to 400 after I get this one wrong.
Okay. All right, so Play It Loud, 500. Here we go. Casey.
This is that what is Quest 64?
Yes, it is Quest 64. Very good.
Wow.
Well done. Well done. I thought that would stump you guys. That's a good one.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
that is the Quest
I'm
64
so
battle
glad
theme.
I decided to play tonight, guys.
Yeah. I told you, I spread it out a little bit, showing some different consoles some love here. So, Casey, your selection.
Let's round out this selection here. Play it loud for 400, please.
Sure. Donald,
What is Xenoblade?
could you be more specific, please?
Xenoblade Chronicles Wii.
That is correct, sir. Xenoblade Chronicles for Wii or 3DS, so to accept it, of course. Yep, Xenoblade Chronicles. So back in the plus side, I think, Donald. Your selection.
Let's do critical hits for 100.
Okay. Despite a troubled launch, this evergreen title is available on PC, Mac, and 5 different consoles, most recently the Nintendo Switch. David.
What is Final Fantasy VII?
I said troubled launch, David.
Oh, troubled launch. I know, it was funny because I was trying to remember
Donald,
the beginning of the question.
Donald, you got to guess.
I blew that one.
What is Skyrim?
That is incorrect.
Well, it certainly had a troubled launch. I know I played the PS3 version.
Casey?
No. I'm just not even going to bother.
What is Diablo 3?
Okay, that makes sense.
I think Skyrim. I think you were on the right track, Donald, and I think that does kind of make sense for the clue, but certainly not as troubled a launch as Diablo 3 had. I would say it had the glitches,
baby.
but yeah, the auction house. The fact that you couldn't log in for the first 24 hours of the launch time, that was pretty brutal.
That's like a Blizzard staple, though.
Oh yeah, I know, right? To be fair, Skyrim had the same Bethesda type staple errors too.
Still to this very
Donald,
day.
I think this is Donald. Your selection.
Yeah, let's critical hits 200.
American players weren't able to really feel this RPG until 2 years after Japanese players and 1 year after European players. Casey.
What is Xenoblade Chronicles?
That is correct, sir. Very good. I expected you to get that because we talked about it on Talk Nintendo, of course.
Yes. I love that game, obviously. I think
too.
we probably all do, except for David, who hasn't played it.
I own it. I just haven't got around to it.
Phony. And this guy calls himself an RPG man. But I digress.
He's slowly losing that title in this game. So
I know.
Casey, go ahead. You're next to your choice.
Let's continue with critical hits for 300, please.
The first entry in this Sega-developed series came to Switch courtesy of the Sega Ages line. Donald.
What is Phantasy Star?
That is correct. Your selection.
Critical hits 4.
Ridiculous title aside, this Wii U title took elements of 2 different franchises and an incredible combat system to create a standout RPG that few people have had a chance to play. Donald, I think that's you again.
What is Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE?
You got it, and you got the whole title too. Thank you for that. Yep, that's absolutely right.
I'm one of the few people that played that, and I reviewed it.
Oh, you did? Yeah, I played it through it too. Great game.
It's a good game.
Mm-hmm.
I never finished it, unfortunately, but I got a nice deep chunk into
Poured
it.
it to Switch, you cowards.
I know, please. That combat system is one of my favorite ones ever. Donald, your selection.
Critical 5.
The iOS version of this Dragon Quest entry, which is playable on 2 Nintendo platforms, currently has the highest Metacritic score of any Dragon Quest game, including spin-offs, with a score of 90.
Well, it's a 1 in 11 guess, right?
Donald?
What is
not 11,
what is
but...
Dragon Quest 3?
That is not correct. Casey or David? Casey.
Let's stab in the dark here. What is Dragon Quest V?
Dragon Quest V is correct.
Boom.
I figured
NES
and Game Boy was what I was thinking, or Game Boy Color.
Yeah. The funny thing is, a bunch of them are actually available on 2 Nintendo platforms. It only narrows it down a little bit. Yeah, Dragon Quest V was the right answer, Case. Your choice.
Well, considering I don't think I've really ever played any BioWare games, I'm going to go with Who's the Boss for 100.
Sounds good. The most recognizable aspect of this notorious villain, responsible for killing the citizens of Doma Castle, is his maniacal laugh. Donald?
Who is Kefka?
That's right.
All right.
Donald, your choice?
Who's the Boss 2?
This title featured a trio of bosses named after rock stars Ozzy Osbourne, Flea, and Slash. Donald?
What is Chrono Trigger?
You got it.
Some
your selection again.
tone-deaf evil fiends those are.
They are.
Chrono Trigger 3.
Chrono Trigger.
No,
Sorry.
no,
Who's the
absolutely
boss?
not. Absolutely not.
Sorry.
If only. That's
He's
okay.
cheating.
He's looking ahead to Final Jeopardy. This not quite final boss, a reincarnation of the protagonist's father, might seem more at home in the Garden of Eden.
Boop, boop, boop.
Sin.
Ugh.
Sin from Final
I
Fantasy
was-
X, which I
I was
recently
thinking Final
reviewed.
Fantasy X. Like, as soon as
Yeah.
you said it, I'm like, Final Fantasy X, but I'm like, I'm not sure what you're asking for.
I thought you were asking for Adam from Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Yeah.
Four,
Donald, I think it's still your selection. Yeah.
400. Who's the boss?
Keeper of the first star piece, this SNES era boss can actually be skipped entirely through a neat glitch. Donald.
Who is Mac the Knife?
Very good, and I appreciate you adding the knife at the end. Yep, go ahead.
And
Your choice.
And who's the boss? 5.
This Persona 3 final boss has a total of 14 forms, one for each arcana, and it can take over 45 minutes to defeat it. Donald.
Who is Nyx?
Yeah, I'll accept that. Nick's avatar. You're right. Very good.
I once saw someone posted an extended version of the boss theme, and the top YouTube comment was, "This isn't the extended version. This is just how long the fight is."
It's true. I think it took me at least an hour, maybe an hour and a half. That was a brutal fight.
Yeah, I forget how long, but I remember just like
You definitely feel accomplished after beating a boss like that. You know,
you
take a
sweat
big swig
out
of
like
water.
3 pounds. You know.
Oh,
Like, oh my god!
For sure.
Finally.
And especially
That's right.
especially in versions where you don't have direct control over everybody.
Oh man, yeah. See, I only played the portable one, so.
Yeah, I played portable.
So we've only got one category left, Donald. Where are we gonna go?
All right. Well, I guess I'll stay clam for this, but BioWare 100.
This recent title seems to be set on Earth, but the planet it takes place on is never actually named. Donald.
What is Anthem?
Anthem is correct.
Oh.
I'm getting tired of calling your name. Go ahead.
Uh,
Your selection.
Well, don't expect to call my name in this one.
BioWare 200.
This is the space station where you will find many of Commander Shepard's favorite things. Donald.
What is the Citadel?
That is my favorite answer on the Citadel. Very good. Yep.
I'm shocked.
Continue.
I'm shocked that I managed to pick up enough from my aborted playthrough of Mass Effect to know that.
I was going to ask if you'd even played Mass Effect 2 before. It's pretty good.
And Donald start his ascend.
That's right. Yeah. Fortunately, it's only the regular Jeopardy round, so there's still lots of time to catch up. Donald.
300 BioWare.
Key planets in this game set in a faraway galaxy include Kashyyyk, Korriban, and Dantooine. Donald, I think that's you first.
What is Knights of the Old Republic?
I see you've got it. Yep, KOTOR. David, you're right. You're right there. Very close.
I think it's my internet connection let me down.
No Johns, please.
Yeah,
Casey and I had a side bet how early you would bring up that excuse.
yeah that's right.
I think Casey took the unders. I think he gets it.
I'm winning all over tonight so far.
That's right. Donald, go ahead.
400 BioWare.
Located in southeast Thetis, this kingdom's capital city is Denerim, and you spend much of the first Dragon Age title exploring both the capital and surrounding areas of this kingdom.
Oh, another one I should
I need
know.
to phone a friend on this one.
I think this was a response in one of your questions, David, from the last round. What is Ferelden?
Yeah.
And we'll finish up the category here. BioWare for 500. This early location in Mass Effect 2 allows Shepard to show off his dance moves. Clearly, you three haven't read my master's thesis on Mass Effect, so I'm a little disappointed. The answer is Omega. Omega.
Because I did play Mass Effect. The Mako was so bad, I bailed out and never played 2 or 3.
It's really bad. Yeah, two. I mean, 2 is worth going back to. It's much improved. They don't have those stupid Mako segments either. Can we get an update on the scores? How we looking, guys?
Yeah, so Casey's leading at 2,500. Donald's not too far behind at 2,300. And I'm way back at 300.
Well, you're still in the plus, David. That's really all that matters. I'm pretty sure Casey and I were both negative at this point. So last time.
I feel like I'm dreaming or something.
And my roommate's gonna have my you know what for blowing that daily double.
Oh man, it's
awesome.
I wish it's like I never want the daily double, but man, I probably wouldn't have bet everything. I'm no Donald's, but I would have been able to get it right.
It is fun to be able to say, let's make it a true daily double. There's something about checking that off the bucket list.
Oh, I'm already scared by the titles of the most of these. I have a series I have not played.
So I've just posted the double Jeopardy categories in our spreadsheet here. So I'll go through them now. The first category is xenophobia, and that will be clues related to non-human characters and species in RPGs. The next one is it's personal. These are clues related to the Persona series, of course.
Right up Donald's alley, I think.
There we go. The next category is it's personnel, and these are clues related to companions and party members. The next category is the land of summon monsters. This is going to be clues about summoners and creatures you can summon. The next category is who's that Pokemon? Clues related to the mainline Pokemon RPGs. And the final category in Double Jeopardy is chronology trigger. And these are going to be time periods in Chrono Trigger where you must give the specific year of the event being described. I believe we start with the person in last place, so that's going to be you, David.
I'll go with...
There he is.
Yeah, that's right. I'll go with summon monsters for 200.
In Tales of Symphonia, this character is accompanied by a Vulpix-looking summoned spirit named Corinne, or Corin. I think this probably should have been the $1,000 clue.
Yeah.
I played Tales of Symphonia way back in the day, but man, it's been a long time.
I thought it may have been a game we'd all played on GameCube or something like that, but it's Shina Fujibayashi. Shina Fujibayashi.
If that's the 200 question, God help us all.
I should have put that one higher.
Let's get rid of this category then and go 400.
Yeah. So 400 Land of Summon Monsters. In Final Fantasy IV, Rydia makes her return to the party as an adult and summons this creature. Donald.
What is the Mist Dragon?
That's correct. You're bored.
All right. Well, I know a little bit about summoning here, so let's go 600.
In Final Fantasy VI, this Esper teaches the second level fire, ice, and lightning spells, and it turns out he's also Terra's father. Donald.
Who is Maduine?
Yep, that's right. Maduin or Maduine.
All right.
You're bored?
All right. 800 summoning.
Popoi, or the Sprite from Secret of Mana, acquires water magic early on in the game, and this is the name of the water spirit who gives you this power. Donald.
Who is Undine?
That's right. Undine or Undine. Perfect.
All right. And
your selection,
boy.
Donald.
And
David, I'm going to blame David for choosing this category.
1,000 summoning.
This is a daily double.
True daily double.
You're up to 4,100.
Got to bring it back down and help us out.
Let's go 1,500.
This is the name of the first capsule monster who joins your team in Lufia 2, Rise of the Sinistrals.
What is Lumi?
No, that is not correct. The name of the creature is Gels, Jelze.
Ooh.
The creature belongs to the family or genus of Fumi, and I probably would have accepted Fumi as well.
Okay.
But Gels or Fumi, yeah. Sorry, Donald.
Yeah.
Still your
2600.
board.
All right. Well, chronology trigger 200.
Oh, I was looking forward to this one. You first meet Robo in this time period. Donald.
What is 2300 AD?
That is correct. Your selection?
400 chronology.
This time period is the farthest in the past. David, I think that's you. I can't recognize your name on the Skype chat.
Yeah. When is 65 million BC?
Very good. I appreciate using when. 65 million BC is correct. David, your choice. Your go.
Let's continue 600.
This is the time period where frog comes from. Casey.
Oh God, 600 AD.
That is correct. Very good.
Whew. Let's keep
Your
this
choice.
train rolling, boys. 800.
This is the time period where Chrono's courtroom trial takes place. Donald.
When is 1000 AD?
That is correct. It is the same time period as you start at the start of the game. Donald, your choice.
1000 chronology.
This is the time period of Queen Zeal and Shala. Donald.
When is 12,000 BC?
That is correct. Very good. Can we get a scoring update, guys? What do the totals look like?
So Donald's back up to 4,600. Casey's at 3,100. And I'm at 700.
Okay. Donald, I think it's your play again.
Who's that Pokemon? 200.
These three Pokemon types were added after Gen 1. Donald.
What are Dark, Steel, and Fairy?
That is correct. Your go.
400 Pokemon.
Pokemon Yellow was released for Game Boy in North America in this year, and I'm pretty sure Prince would approve. Donald?
What is 1999?
That is correct.
Son of a diddly.
All right.
Donald?
600 Pokemon.
This word, meaning to throw or toss, is a move that allows a Pokemon to launch their held item at an opponent. Donald?
What is Fling?
Fling is correct. Your play.
800 Pokemon.
The acronym IV, vital to competitive Pokemon trainers, stands for this.
Oh my God, I knew.
Donald?
What is Individual Value?
That is correct.
And 1,000 Pokemon.
Okay. Including remakes, players have visited the Kanto region in-game this many times. For clarification, blue, red, and yellow would be considered a single visit, and you have to be able to actually walk around in Kanto for it to count. Casey, I believe it's you.
All right. So you said red, blue, yellow. That's one, right?
That's one visit to Kanto.
So each generation is essentially what we're going with.
Yes.
What is 4?
That is not correct.
Ugh.
Donald?
What is 5?
5 is correct. Do you want to name them for us?
Gens 1 through 4 and Gen 7 with Let's Go.
That's right, yeah. That was the tricky one case. Pokemon Let's Go, Pikachu, and Eevee I would count as a separate one. Yeah, very good, Donald. Your selection here.
It's Persona 200.
This spin-off title released in 2014 and featuring a this title release in 2014 and features a crossover between the cast of Persona 3 and Persona 4. Donald, I think you're first there.
What is Persona Q Shadow of the Labyrinth?
Very good. And you should know that because you're reviewing the sequel right now.
Exactly.
Your play?
400 Persona.
Igor is often found in this area where he allows you to fuse and manage personas. I think that's Casey.
What is the Velvet Room?
That is correct, sir. Very good.
Woo!
Your play.
Let's keep it rolling. 600.
This character from Persona 3 serves as the team's navigator within Tartarus. Donald.
Who is Fuka?
Fuka is correct. Yeah.
I wanted to say Futaba, but no, that's 5.
That's 5. Yeah.
All right.
No, well, you could say it if you want.
you could have said it.
800
Donald?
Persona.
The first entry in the Persona series features this word in the title before the word Persona, and it is the only entry in the series to use this naming convention. Donald.
What is Revelations?
That is correct.
And 1000 Persona.
Do. Sorry, Case.
Another one.
Another
He's
daily double.
cheating.
Yeah.
You're at 9,200.
Bet it all.
True daily double.
It's Persona. You know he's gonna get it right.
As tempting as it is to James here, I'll go 4000.
These are the 2 social links added to Persona 4 Golden that were not in the original game.
What are Aeon and I can't think of the other one. Crap.
I was actually looking for the characters, so I'll let you
Okay.
try again, just so I can clarify that.
Who are Marie and Adachi?
That is correct. So these are Marie, and Adachi was a character in Persona 4, but he became a social link character in Persona 4 Golden. So yeah, I was looking for Marie and Adachi, or Toru Adachi. Very good, Donald. Nice work.
After
Man,
that
these freaking daily doubles, I would have been cleaning up house if I.
I think
got them.
you made up for your previous Fire Emblem botch there, I think.
Yeah.
All right. It's Personnel 200.
The persona of this character manifests as a motorcycle named Johanna. Donald.
Who is Makoto?
That is correct.
Best girl.
Best girl.
400 Personnel.
It's definitely time for this best friend of Shulk in Xenoblade Chronicles, who plays a tank role on the team. Casey.
Who is Ryan?
Ryan, my man.
It's Ryan time.
I love it.
Let's 600.
Besting Chrono Cross's 45 playable characters, most entries in this series star a total of 107 recruitable characters, 108 if you include the protagonist. Donald.
What is Suikoden?
Suikoden is correct.
I'm having acid flashbacks to the last Final Jeopardy.
Before we move on to the next one, David,
Yeah.
did your internet cut out?
Hey, can't hear you.
Casey.
Yeah, what the heck, man?
You told me you weren't going to kick him when a man was down, you know? Like,
Hey, man,
so good.
it's okay. I've been there, David. Don't worry.
This is his Dark Souls of Jeopardy.
Just getting my punishment for punishing you guys last time.
That's right. Sorry, Donald.
800 Personnel.
This companion character relays the story of Dragon Age 2, and he is also playable in Dragon Age Inquisition.
Oh, I should know this.
Oh, his internet's working now.
I'm lobbing softballs here, lobbing them right to you, David.
I know. I can't remember his name though.
You can picture him, I'm sure.
Yeah.
This is the dwarf Varric.
Yeah.
This trusty
Terrible-
crossbow
Terrible
Bianca.
names.
Yeah. Donald, your selection still.
1000 Personnel.
This is the minimum number of characters required to complete the World of Ruin in Final Fantasy VI. Donald.
What is 3?
3 is correct. No bonus points, but can you name them?
Celis, Sabin, and Setzer.
I think it's Celis, Edgar, and Setzer. You might be right. I had Edgar, but I'd have to go back and check and see if that was Sabin.
Yeah. One of the
at any
brothers.
Yeah, you got the right answer.
Okay.
Can we get a score update, guys?
15,000 for Donald, 2,900 for Casey, and 700 for me.
It's a runaway success for
That
one
is-
man here.
Staggering.
It's
as if I
mimicking
fed,
real life Jeopardy. It seems.
It's
right-
as
right
if
now,
I gave
anyway.
him. Oh, that's right. Yeah, you got the guy. He's about to set the record too. I think, right? He's very
Yeah.
close to Jennings' record.
I think he's like 2 shows away at most from
Yeah.
breaking it.
Yeah, pretty impressive. Donald, your go here.
Xenophobia 200.
You are likely to hear the word Kupo spoken by these Final Fantasy creatures. Casey.
What is a Moogle?
That is correct.
For one
So-
second, after I sent I blanked. I was like, "Oh no, I'm not gonna mess this one up, am I?"
Yeah.
Let's keep with our final area here with Xenophobia 400.
Riki, Tora, and Tatsu are all members of this race in the Xenoblade Chronicles series. I think that's Casey again.
Yep. What is the Nopon?
That is correct. Very good.
We'll continue down the line for 600, please.
Trusty companion Garrus from the Mass Effect trilogy belongs to this race that sounds like a famously stinky fruit. Donald.
What are the Krogan?
That is not correct. Sorry. David or Casey?
Not I.
I haven't played it in like 10 years.
The answer is Turian.
Oh.
Turian. Sounds like durian. Casey, I believe it's your selection again.
800.
In Final Fantasy Legend 2, in addition to humans and monsters, you are given the choice of adding one of two other non-human characters to your party. I want you to name one of them. Donald.
What are robots?
Robots is one. Do you know the other one?
Aliens?
Mutants. Pretty close, yeah. But robots is good enough for us. I believe this is the last clue of the round. Xenophobia for 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
In the prologue of The Witcher 3, Geralt is tasked with taking down this mythological beast, a grotesque combination of familiar animals. Nobody's got it?
It's
Nobody's
funny.
got a guess?
That's probably about all that I've played of The Witcher 3.
That's why
have
I
a
took
guess.
the prologue.
I have a guess, but I want to be in Final Jeopardy, so I'm going to let this one slide.
Okay, for no points, David, do you want to just throw it out there?
Is it a chimera?
It is not, so it's a really good thing you didn't guess.
Yeah.
It's a griffin. Griffin.
Yeah.
Body of a lion, or wings of an eagle. So that takes us to the end of Double Jeopardy. Let's get a scoring update heading into Final Jeopardy.
So Donald leads us with 15,200. Casey's at 3,500, and I'm at 700.
Okay. Fortunately, this time everyone gets to play Final Jeopardy legally, unlike I think myself, who kind of cheated my way in last time. The category is RPG titles. RPG titles. So I need you guys to make your wagers. Obviously, we'll be back in a second here. Here, if you guys just want to message me individually there. So just let me know when you're locked in. I've got Donald's, I've got David's, Casey.
I'm trying.
Okay.
Actually, hold on. No, I messed up my wager.
I'm relying on you guys to do all the math
here.
Is
it that hard to put in 3,500, Casey?
No, I will not lose. Yeah,
very good.
I'm not coming in dead last. All right, there we go. It's
gotcha. Okay, Casey's locked in. Okay, here we go. So here's the clue in Final Jeopardy. In the mainline SMT series, the protagonist is often tasked with removing some type of deity from power, or perhaps reviving one, like the proverbial phoenix might. The kanji character Shin in the name Shin Megami Tensei means true or real. And this is what the phrase Megami Tensei translates as in English. Players, you have 30 seconds.
All I'm saying is, thank God I made sure I had more points than David.
David, you went into Final Jeopardy with 700 points, I believe. You answered, or you responded, Rebirth of God, and I will accept that. The answer is Rebirth, Reincarnation of the Goddess, or Goddess Reincarnation, Goddess Rebirth, but I think you're close enough. And you wagered 300, so your total score is 1,000. Now
you're trying to bust my jimmies over not betting the full amount.
I was hoping you fools would both bet full so I could sneak in.
Let's go to Casey now. Casey responded with True Pathfinder. Unfortunately, that is not correct, Casey. You did not find the true path to the response here, but that's okay. Nope. You wagered 2,000, and I believe that brings your score to 1,500. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay, so David is 1,000, Casey 1,500, and we go to Donald, reigning champion. He did find the correct response, Goddess Rebirth. And what did you wager, Donald? 4,800. That brings your score to an incredibly impressive and very round number, 20,000. 20,000. So well played to all three, but especially Donald. You had an exceptionally strong round
Well,
there.
I mean, if you just get rid of one of his zeros, we tied.
That's right. Yeah. Almost.
It's a rounding. It's all about rounding.
That's right.
In fairness, I will say that Double Jeopardy board was one giant meatball for me.
And you've got one wrong. If you'd got, I don't even, your score, man. Bravo. Very nice job.
Donald, you and I must have very similar gameographies or gaming histories, because these are all. I mean, obviously I chose a lot from like my own experience of things that I would know. I looked up some stuff, but yeah, most of these things are just kind of things that came to me without having to look them up. So we must have played a lot of the same games.
Yeah, because I wrote an Earthbound guide, and I also wrote a Pokemon guide at one point. So I still play Pokemon heavily.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take solace in that I got Quest 64 right. So
I was just gonna say, Casey, that's the most impressive answer I got today. I thought that of all the ones I gave, that was definitely one I thought that I didn't think anyone was gonna get that one. Like that would just be a shot in the dark kind of thing.
I played a whole lot of Quest 64 back in the day, man. Up to that stupid forest.
Oh,
I remember getting so confused as a little kid. Like, what the heck is going on here?
Yeah, it's a horrible game. Like people give Final Fantasy Mystic Quest shit, but Quest 64 is an abomination.
Was that a Square game?
No, I can't remember the company that did it.
I want to say it was THQ.
Yeah, I believe so as well.
That music sounded litigious then.
Developer Imagineer from THQ. It was the
Imagineer.
publisher.
There you go. Yeah,
I
I remember looking forward to it. Like, an RPG is finally coming to N64. And it turns out it's this horrible trash compared to FF7 and all these great games on PlayStation. We got Quest 64, so it was a pretty big slap in the face.
Man, that should be a punishment of some sort to somebody in some sort of bet. You have to play through Quest 64.
Well, we'll just give it to Dawn for the next telethon, I think, right?
Well, or we could just say the loser of this Jeopardy has to play Quest. Oh, sorry, David.
Well, we do have that new thing on the Patreon, don't we?
Oh, here we go. So get us up to that number, and we'll make David play Quest 64.
Yeah, he'll stream the whole thing.
I think what killed David was there was no Final Fantasy VIII, and there was no Skyrim. Yeah. And as soon as I made the clues, and those games didn't appear, that was it.
Well, he was sitting behind his keyboard sweating, just waiting for that Final Fantasy VIII question. It just never came.
Right.
I've played so much Final Fantasy in the last 2 months that it's blocked out everything. It's like a Final Fantasy eclipse of RPGs.
Yeah.
Well, don't worry, we're gonna get you on that Dragon Quest train, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
That's gonna be the summer for sure. Maybe some Dragon Quest 5 and 8 and.
Oh, dude, 7, man, so good. Everyone hates on it, but 7
it just takes forever. It takes forever to play. Like, I love it. But
it does.
I don't know if I would ask people to play it because it takes so long.
It's so funny because a lot of people complain like how it's just, I don't know, like so fragmented, but I really felt like that helped build the whole world so well. Like, I don't know, it's the only Dragon Quest mainline game I've beaten. Which is funny, but I thought it was a fantastic game, and I look forward to getting into definitely Dragon Quest 11 when it comes out. But I'm definitely going to be hopefully revisiting some of the other ones for this here podcast. So.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I want to do that too. I mean, I've got 9 just sitting on a shelf I want to get back to, but there's something about 7 and the fact that you literally build the world that is really enticing to me. Like I know you played Ys 8, we both played that, and I love the idea of like building up the camp and recruiting characters to your camp. But that's kind of like on a much smaller scale, right?
Oh,
Whereas
for sure.
in Dragon Quest 7, like you're putting pieces of a continent together. You're raising islands from the ocean. Like I just love that aspect. And yeah, it is kind of grindy and it's a little bit of a slog at times, but I think it's also really satisfying when you solve all the problems of one island and you kind of know like, oh, I'm kind of done here. Like I might not come back. This is it. And it's almost like a saying goodbye to the characters every 5 hours or so. Kind of neat. So
and it's so interesting with the different time zones, right? Where it's like you sort of see it like, oh, like I've seen this sort of island and what happened to it. Let me go back and see how it got there, and then we got to
That's
change
right.
it up.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
yeah.
I totally forgot about that time element. You're right. Like you get to see like kind of the past or the future of those different places too.
Yeah, the city that is all animals, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
you're
yeah.
like, what the heck is going on here? And then you sort of get the other side of the
You
story.
figure it
so-
out. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's a cool thing.
Just my advice is somebody that tried to play through a lot of Dragon Quest games back to back, don't do that. I beat 9, I beat 4, and then I got halfway into 5, and there's only so much of Dragon Quest you can take at one time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely samey, right? In many regards,
Yeah.
gameplay style, gameplay wise. But
So maybe space it out a bit more than Square spaced out all the Final Fantasies this year.
That's right. Yeah. Well, that won't take much effort. So
I'm surprised they haven't started releasing Dragon Quest like ports onto the Switch. I feel like they'd sell pretty well, especially with like 11 on the way.
yeah, it seems
Sorta
like
hype
now
it
would
up.
be a good time, right? They released all these old Final Fantasies, but there's no new Final Fantasy coming to Switch, whereas you do have a fairly new Dragon Quest coming to Switch, right? So
And I'm pretty sure Dragon Quest Builders did pretty well on the Switch, right?
I think so.
Enough that they're
And-
doing the sequel.
Yeah, 2's on the way, so you think, like there is a base of Switch with some Dragon Quest, and you feel like you might want to capitalize on that. But who knows,
sure.
maybe if Dragon Quest 11 sells really well, maybe that's something we'll see for the 2020 instead of the Final Fantasy onslaught. It'll be the Dragon Quest onslaught early in 2020.
That'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah. All right. So, David, I don't know what do we got lined up for the next episode? I know we're kind of planning to record just after E3. Is that right?
Yeah, I think it's the last day of E3. So E3 will still
Okay.
be on when we're recording, but all of
Okay.
the announcements will have been made. I don't think anything really gets announced.
I don't know, man. Quest
the-
64 remake, baby. Let's do
Yeah.
it.
They did announce like Donkey Kong and Skyskipper last year on day 3 of E3, but I think
That's
by the normal recording time, the show will be over.
Yeah. So we'll have an assessment of what we heard and what we're looking forward to, some reactions.
The 30-minute segment where we start ripping apart Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Maybe. I
Looking
guess
forward
we'll
to
find
that.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that'll be 2 weeks from now. And then 2 weeks after that will be our Final Fantasy 12 review.
Right, end of June. Yeah, perfect.
Yep.
Okay.
And then potentially going into the summer, hopefully we'll have some maybe Shadow Drop D3 RPGs that we can partake in.
Yeah, I mean,
Star
I think there's a
Ocean.
lot of Star Ocean. Yeah, what's that, September or later in the year or something like that? That'd be a
They-
cool one to do.
They didn't.
Didn't
Yeah.
give any release date. Yeah.
Nothing yet. Okay.
I'm hoping maybe we see something at E3, as
Yeah.
even if it's just during a splash trailer, with a more defined date. But yeah, that game, I'm like I said, a sort of low key for no good reason, but I am probably a little more excited to play that game than I should be.
I like the idea of when the first entry in a series that maybe I've never really played the series at all, the first entry kind of gets a remake or a remaster or comes out again, and it's like, oh, now I can kind of start at the beginning here. When Sega Ages gave us Phantasy Star, I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like now I can, not that you necessarily need to play the first one, but now I feel like, oh, now I can go and play the other Phantasy Stars if I eventually pick up the Genesis collection. I'm
Had the
hoping to do that.
foundation, yeah.
Yeah, you've got that. You kind of dipped your toes in. You know a little bit about what the franchise or series is about. So it's really cool that we're getting that Star Ocean title too.
Well, I want to thank everyone for listening, and if you're not already subscribed, make sure to subscribe on your podcast player of choice. We are on Spotify now, and we've grown outside our Netherlands demographic.
I meant to ask you about that, David.
Yeah, we're now into Australia, so we're going global on Spotify. So
Right on.
yeah, so I want to thank everybody, and you can check us out on NintendoWorldReport.com.
We do have an updated Patreon page for Nintendo World Report. Does someone know what the link is or the information? Casey, I'm going to toss that to you because you're the expert there.
Yeah, you want to jump over to patreon.com/NWR. That'll take you right there. And yeah, we have a new updated tier list, new updated goals. pretty much revamped the whole thing to make it a little bit more simple. There were a lot of tiers before and a lot of promises, so we sort of narrowed it down to things that we think everyone's going to be excited about, and that's going to include a pair of NWR exclusive podcasts for the Patreon, Talk Nintendo Podcast, which is a show that I co-host, as well as Radio Free Nintendo. And I know that Donald always uploads all of the episodes of NNR as well, right?
Yeah, the patrons get early access to the audio version of Nintendo News Report every week.
Boom.
Cool.
So, yeah, you'll definitely want to check out over there, and you can get all that access for just $1. And then, of course, there's some more tiers that have some more goodies as well. But, yeah, you can just shoot over there if you are interested in checking out more of the stuff we are continuing to do. So, of course, that's some cool stuff that we're excited about.
Awesome. Well, until 2 weeks, have a good night.
Yeah,
Bye.
and enjoy E3, everybody. Look forward to talking to you about it after it happens.
Woo-wee!
Bye, everybody.
Good night.
Toodles.
Poodles!